All right, you guys. Today I'm just going to show some basic things that I've already gone over in class. This is my sad pinch pot example, the one I haven't spent any time or energy or love on. I'm going to show you guys how to do some basic cleaning up, as well as trimming the rim and adding a foot. So there's a few things in here in this video. If at any point in time you want to skip ahead, you don't need to see something, please do. Always when I'm working, I want to make sure my canvas mat is laid out, that I'm staying on this to keep your area clean. If you are working above carpet underneath you, lay some plastic down. So let's just kind of review of that. Again, this pot is pretty unloved. It's a pinch pot essentially with 2 added coils onto it. So I'm just going to spend a little bit of time cleaning it up. I'm going to use this tool right here. This is a rib tool, and I'm going to use the flat edge of this rib tool. Now, I want to mostly clean up the form and maybe define this line a little bit better. It looks really sloppy and messy, but hopefully after I spend a little bit of time and energy towards it, it's going to look a little bit better. I don't love the form either of what's happening. Maybe it'd be all right for a cup, but it's still, not the best. I didn't have a plan for this pot, and usually when I don't have a plan or a sketch or things like that, I'm going in blind and I'm just kind of doing funky stuff and I'm unhappy with it. Your examples for class that I've been working on through that look quite a bit different. But I'm going to take this tool and I'm going to actually support the inside of my pot with my hand, and I'm going to drag it along the edge. Now I can feel that it's a little bit bumpy as I drag it, so I might have to switch gears here and actually drag it upwards. So just because the way the pot was formed, I'll probably come back in and go sideways. This takes a little bit of force. My clay is also probably at a soft leather hard at the moment. So I'm really able to work this tool into the pot while not changing the form. And that's what you want. If your clay was really plastic and you're going to add force and rake this tool along your pot, it might change your vessel in some ways that you don't. It might squish it, it might push it in, it might create divots, things that you don't want and need. So timing is important always. But my clay is at a soft leather hard, just kind of dragging it along the edge to kind of clean that up. Now it's creating this sort of chatter because it's a round form and I'm moving upwards with my tool. That's why I probably will drag it along the edge here in just a moment. I'm also only gently setting this on the table. I'm mostly lifting up so as to not squish my pot. And again, I'm just starting with basic cleanup things, and then I'll move towards trimming my rim and working with that. So I've kind of made my way around the pot. I could spend a really long time doing this and kind of adjusting. I may want to actually use my makeshift banding wheel. I'm going to fold this up just a little bit because your banding wheel, your makeshift one, works better on the table than on this canvas mat. And I just took a piece of paper, folded it up. I may flip this pot upside down so I can turn the pot and work the side. I'm kind of curving my tool just a little bit. My scraps stay on my canvas mat. So my pot started as kind of lumpy and dumpy. I'm just trying to improve it with a little bit of time, energy, and love. Now you may have wanted to keep your pinch marks, that hand of the artist, of you in there, and if that's the case, awesome, more power to you. This step you don't need and you can kind of skip ahead. Kind of also clean up the bottom here. I have this little divot here too. I kind of want to see if I can adjust curving my tool just a little bit to really grab that angle, or not angles, but curves of the pot. Just cleaning it up. Now I have this, like, it's pretty decently clean on the bottom. It's gotten that extra bit of love and care and attention, but this top area is not. So I may kind of readjust here and clean up my scraps. Always making sure my area is clean. You guys are in shared spaces. And I want to work this line a little bit, so I want to clean it up. And actually, because it's a small area, I might switch tools here and move to this tool. It kind of has a curve right here and then more of a pointed end right here. This is your scoring tool. So this is going to give me, and because the tool is kind of small, it's creating like a chatter, which I don't really love, but I can clean that up. And it's just the way it's sort of dragging along the pot. Now, in doing so, I'm also creating this unwanted line down there. So it's just maybe it's a little bit of adjusting as you go. And I'll have to come back and clean up that line next. So it's not just a matter of doing one thing. Usually you've got multiple things after you do this one thing. Quite a bit of clay is coming off, and I'm just kind of trying to keep it even in that area. Now I want to clean up that line. So I'm going to take my tool. I'm going to be a little bit gentler with it. So now I've got more of a strong, kind of defined line. And again, there's that chatter again I don't love. I can try and drag over it a little bit. It's probably because my clay is at the moment at like a soft leather hard, and it's not at a stiff leather hard, so it's kind of stopping and stuttering in areas. Just going to kind of work with it. After I have that, I have the stop area too that I need to clean up. Probably assumed that as well. This might be better suited back on my, because it's not a very large area, so I might hop back into my makeshift banding wheel. I'll use this tool. Kind of clean up along the edge here. Still supporting the inside wall with my hand. Just kind of making my way around the pot. So this tool does a lot. It's pretty versatile. It's also going, I'm also going to use it to cut for my next step. I'm gonna kind of, because I'm not seeing it, I'm kind of above it. Sorry, it's not in the field of view. Kind of above it, so I'm not really seeing it from the side. Always make sure you kind of take a look at what's going on. Now you see a really defined line, so it's a really strong angle. It's a little bit funky in some areas, so I can keep working at it, and I probably would. But I'm gonna continue on with my demo here and move to my rim. But if this was my pot that I was working on my project, I would still give it the time and love that it needs. So where does it need adjustments? Right here's a good example. So just kind of digging in there and changing that up, adjusting that line, coming back on this side. Just a little adjustments are going to make the world a difference, and already that looks quite a bit better. So the next step I want to show is trimming this rim. Many of you, and it's kind of the nature with pinch pots, it's probably undulated in some way. And undulated means essentially it's maybe raised up in certain areas that maybe you don't want it raised up in and you want it more even. So I need to trim some of it off. Now, it's kind of nerve-wracking to do, and it's important to go slow when you are doing it. I'm going to use my favorite rib tool again. I like to find the lowest area, so I'm going to kind of take a peek at this. And this is my highest area, but it gets pretty low right here, so I might start in this general area to kind of determine my starting point, and then I'll end there. So I'm going to lay this flat down. I'm just going to kind of drag it along the edge here, and that already came off. I'm going to start back up again. Go slow. I'm supporting the inside. I'm also rotating my pot. Now, if your clay is real plastic, the back side of your tool is going to want to suction to the pot. So this is best done at the leather hard state. Oh. This area feels a little bit harder than the rest for whatever reason. So we've just got to be a little bit more careful over here. Again, really slow. This is my really high area. Oh, geez. I don't really like when that happens because it feels like I have no control. I like when I feel like I have control like I did just there. I want to make it all the way around the pot. And I'm going to kind of take a look at it. I feel like I still have a little bit of a high area too. You just have to be careful because you can get kind of crazy with it and keep taking areas off. And then all of a sudden you're left with a teeny tiny pot. Gosh, this area feels drier, and that's why it's like stuttering so much. So that looks a little bit better. Whole lot better than it was before, but now I have this cut edge and my thing's going crazy, so I might stop it and restart. So again, I have this cut edge now. My sponge is going to do really great things for that. I hate water, but because my clay, and actually mine's, because it's at a soft leather hard, I may be able to do some of this without the sponge. And again, I hate water, so but I think I'm going to still show it with the sponge. So I'm going to get this a little bit wet. I mostly wring out most of the water. Now I'm going to come along the edge of my pot here. And I'm really kind of, you can really see my sponge, but it's kind of created an indentation in my sponge where I'm dragging it along the rim. I'm just trying to round it out. Sorry, kind of got out of the field of view. Especially because this is a cup, a very wonky, kind of funky cup. You don't want to drink out of a rim that's so sharp like that. I can also kind of come back in with this and kind of shave off a little bit. Similar to what I was doing on the outside, doing it on the inside here. Just dragging it along the cup, making it all the way around the cup. Yeah, and then taking my sponge back in here. Oops. So it's a little thin over in this area. Not the worst thing in the world. It's kind of bothering me. But again, I'm just trying to even out this rim, round it out more so. And that's probably pretty decent. You see a rounded rim, that looks pretty comfortable to drink out of. I probably still need some work on the surface on the outside, but I'm gonna move to the next part of the demonstration here.